Kasi baka meron lang, may bantay na to sa bahay ka. Ang total po is about 4.5 minutes is when you clean it.
If it's shorter, maybe 4 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think I can reduce it to 3.
Okay.
Hey, Potri, do you want to start ringing the bell and introducing?
Okay, let's start. Welcome to La Mama. Tonight's episode is dedicated to women. And tonight, we're very fortunate to have 2 women leaders from the people of the Philippines, particularly from southern part of the Philippines, from the island of Mindanao. We have our guests from the Bangsa Iranon, which is Amirah Lidasan, and Bangsa Maranao, which is Jehanne Mutin. Join us tonight. Tonight is also our commemoration of the March closure of the theater. Particularly, it happened in March 12, which is yesterday, and today was the theater was closed, so we're not able to present the world premiere of Pananadem, which is a story from the epic Darangin. And we had, in fact, guests from the Philippines, from Mindanao, tradition bearers from the Maguindanao Bangsa, from Maranao Bangsa, and the Iranon Bangsa. And for you, tonight, after the Rinayung talk show, we will bring you to La Mama in our world premiere of Pananadem last March 12, 2020. When COVID-19 closed the curtains of the theater, we opened the virtual show. And tonight, join us. Welcome our hosts, Vivian Chow, and we have Jerome Villoria, and we have Patty Kilroy, who will host for you tonight, and welcoming our 2 Muslim women to celebrate with us March 2021 to the ongoing month of the women. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay. Sorry, kasi I was trying to
All right. Well, it's always great to reflect on our past performances here in Kinding Sindaw. Do you think it's too late for people to join us, Vivian? Because we're still in a pandesal, as we like to say, or a pandemic. So I'm not sure.
I mean, no, it's never too late to join, and this pandemic is definitely not stopping us from dancing.
You're right. You do have a point. So why don't we tell our viewers at home and around the world, what's it like to be part of Kinding Sindaw?
So Kiningston Down, just a little bit of a background. They exist to assert, preserve, reclaim, and recreate the traditions of dance, music, martial arts, storytelling, and the orature of indigenous people of Mindanao, Southern Philippines.
And we like to share these art forms with the community to increase social consciousness of the issues that Indigenous people back home in the Philippines are currently working with. And we also hope to inspire the youth to get involved with our work so that they can continue this work for many generations to come, especially when it comes to cultural preservation.
Mhm. And most recently, we had an off-Broadway production at La Mama Experimental Theater Club in last March, which we will be streaming after the Rinayung episode. So please stay for that if you would like to see what we were able to do. And in addition to that, we did perform with Queensboro Dance Festival. And we also have been live streaming our recitals on YouTube and trying to do other live events where we're dancing as well.
And speaking of dancing, our classes are still on the weekends. You can join us on Saturdays at 12 p.m. New York time or on Sundays at 6 p.m. New York time as well. So free to join. Doesn't matter what background you've got, whether you've got extensive background or if you're just starting out. You don't even have to be Filipino to join, which is great. We welcome you just like a huge loving family.
Yep. So what are you waiting for? Come on over and join the KS family today.
All right. And with that said, folks, welcome to our 18th episode of Rinayung. I had to think about that for a second. Tonight we are highlighting, in honor of Women's Month, we're highlighting two women from the Philippines, both who identify as Muslim. They're also artists and activists in their own right. And we're here to ask them, what brought them to their art, what brought them to activism and fighting for social justice causes, not just in the Philippines, but for around the world as well. And we're here to explore that, and hopefully that'll inspire you to ask some of your burning questions. And let's get this conversation started and let's get it moving. We can go right on to the next slide. And before we continue, or oopsies, did I get ahead of myself? Or is it moving without? Ha ha ha.
Sorry.
Okay.
My bad.
It's all good. Before we move forward, I would like to turn this portion over to Poetry, our artistic director.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum again. So as we are commemorating the 1 year of COVID-19, we also would like to remember the people who work with us in Kinding Sindaw and was able to push Kinding Sindaw into a current growth actually, and that is one of them is Corky. He was there since 1992, the founding of Kinding Sindaw. He really helped in building Kinding Sindaw as during the time when he was the president of Asian American Arts Alliance, and he photographed Kinding Sindaw from the very beginning of 1992 on stage and backstage until the last show we had in March 12, 2020, and Corky passed on January 27, 2021. And then also we would like to honor my Lidasan, who has worked with Kinding Sindaw since year 2000, building our set. He was our set designer, and he also succumbed to COVID-19. And honoring people who are related to Kinding Sindaw, like Blue Gallardo, who's been with La Mama for a longest time, has been bringing us into the rehearsal space and out, and also Del, the father of Serena Peralta, who had made his paintillism designing the Sarimanok bird that is very much related to the Maranao and the Bangsa of Mindanao. Thank you very much. Welcome again to Rinayung.
Thank you for that poetry. And just for folks who are new to our series in Rinayung, so what is Rinayung? It's the magical boat of Bantugan in the Maranao epic of Darangan. It's one of the longest epics in the world. It travels distance, it can fly, dive into the depths of the ocean, it can carry people, magical creatures, and vegetation. And Rinayung itself is a symbol of diaspora. Through the series, we're hoping to connect the Philippine diaspora from all corners of the world and really amplify cultural education as well as social justice issues so that we're all on the same page and then we can join the fight together for equity, as well as teaching cultural traditions the right way. Next page, please.
Right. So just a heads up for those who are in the Zoom call with us. This event is live streamed and will also be recorded. So it'll be archived in Kinding Sindaw's purposes. And tonight we're also live streams not only on Kinding Sindaw's Facebook page, but also La Mama. So double the audience viewing. So in case you're not comfortable with being shared during the event, feel free to stop your video and mute yourself. In the end or even during the event, if there are questions or comments that you would like to make, feel free to leave it in the chat. We'll attend to it. And then this way you can still keep your privacy while still being a participant. And also just a disclaimer, in case there are any topics or issues that are brought up today that might become negative towards anyone's perspectives or views. We just want to let everyone know that that is not in our intention for that to happen, but do bring attention to us if something like that does happen so that we can progress further to make sure that we are going about these issues without being disrespectful to you. And like I said, if there are any questions or comments, feel free to leave it in the Zoom chat on Facebook as well. We'll keep track of all of that and we'll bring it back to the group so that everyone can hear about the messages.
Awesome. Thank you, Vivian. And now, all right, so tonight's program, hello folks, my name is Jerome Valoria. I'm one of your moderators alongside Vivian Chow and our lovely Patty Kilroy, who's doing a lot of behind the scenes work, making sure our PowerPoint flows smoothly, as well as checking in the chats here and on Facebook for all your burning questions that you'd like to ask. And then, of course, Kinding Sindaw, we exist to reclaim, assert, and preserve Southern Philippine culture here in the United States. Specifically, we are based here in New York City. We want to ensure that oral tradition is preserved for many generations to come because, unfortunately, it is something that's not preserved well, and we're trying to fix that. We also want to give a quick shout out to our funders, who without their support, we would literally not be able to do any of this work, especially during this chaotic time of COVID. We'll also have a land acknowledgement from 2 Indigenous folks from the Philippines, as well as here in the United States. And then we'll go right into meeting our guest speakers of tonight, who are Amirah Ali Lidasan and Jehanne Mutin. We'll be giving a panel-style interview for both of our speakers, and then we'll open up the floor for folks to ask any of their questions. And then we're going to close out the night with some announcements, maybe some plugs from our speakers, as well as closing statements and campaigns we are currently involved in. Next slide, please. Okay, so a big thank you to our funders. Again, without your support, our work would not be possible today. First and foremost, we have the Loida Nicholas Lewis and Reginald F. Lewis Foundation, one of our major funders who've been long-standing supporters of Kinding Sindaw since its inception in 1992. We also have La Mama Experimental Theater Club. Thank you so much to the late Ellen Stewart. May her soul rest in peace. She saw something in Poetry's work, and that's how we were able to become resident artists of La Mama for a very long time, lending their stage to us so that we can continue telling our stories, and even the virtual stage so that we can have this web series. We also want to shout out Lotus Music and Dance, another one of our long-standing partners in the community, who's actually been able to connect us with a lot of amazing individuals that we've had as guest speakers in Rinayung. Also, New York City Council, the Howard Gilman Foundation, the NYC DCA or Department for Cultural Affairs, NYFA or New York Foundation for the Arts, Dance NYC, and Kidney Care of the Treasure Coast. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Thank you so much for your continued support, and we look forward to dishing out more quality programming for you all. Next, please.
All right, thanks for that, Jerome. So now I would like to turn this over to our first land acknowledgement, or Teresa. Let me see if I can. Okay, there we go. Hi, Teresa. Welcome back again. We would like to ask you to help us acknowledge the land that we're on. So whenever you're ready, you can start.
Okay, Yama. Yoko, Segozuwagwego, it's good to be here with all of you. Gangyokokta Yungyats. Gangyokokta is my Mohawk name. It means I'm at the back of a crowd of people or at the end of a long line of people. And I'd like to share a song with you all. It's in honor of the women. What I'm saying in the language, which is Ganyak Geha, the Mohawk language, I'm saying that women have good minds, women have good medicine, and women have a lot of strength. And Deodalit Salane is like the generations of the teachings that have been carried on from one generation to the next. So I hope you like this song. Yung kwani kong tiyo, ya yung kwe yung kwanong kwa tselio. Ya yung kwe yo we yung kwa zat san tselaya. Ya yung kwe ayo we hana yo we we hana yo we deo dele telane ne ya kyung kwe yung kwani kong tiyo ne ya kyung kwe yung kwanong kwa tselio ne ya kyung kwe yo we yung kwa zat san telaya ne ya kyung kwe ayo we ya we hana yo we hana yo we deo dele tselane ne ya kyung kwe Yoko.
Right, thank you so much for that. We do have one more, but I think this will just be a video. So just give me 1 second while I have that loading up.
temanku Sindaw kalayu kelanan Ho lule kamilugan Ho mak kenwit nawam Kok mau gawe mong lapang Mengko tunga imong kenam Lalang ketendanan Mo niwi tembe abanu Kudni abunela
Wow. Hayop.
Oh, kadun dani. Kodun da virangan di, kodun da virangan di, nafi.
Lost hayop.
Kodun ko virangan di, kodun da virangan di, nafi. Arangan dek noon bagay dunilang ng yulogi lamang uman niya.
Wayo. Wayo talaga ito.
Arangan niya yulogi ng tampakan niya.
So thank you, Teresa Beerfox, for helping us with the land acknowledgement, and also for the folks back at home, although they weren't able to be virtually with us right now. At least we were able to share a little bit of their voice. So I would like to turn it over to the first speaker of the night, Amirah Lidasan, or Amirah Ali Lidasan. Amirah is from Bangsa Iranon, Parang Karabato, and is a survivor of war. She's also a moral human rights and women rights defender, and Secretary General of the Moral Christian People's Alliance and council member of Sandugo Alliance of Moral and Indigenous People, which is part of the National Councils of Makabayang Kalisiong and Mama Mayang Filipino, and International League of People's Struggle Philippine chapter. She wishes to help other communities who are losing hope and the youth to rechannel their energy and anger into a constructive manner, like fighting for their rights. She wants to help them by introducing them to this method of finding victory through struggle and not destruction. She shared her advocacy in Suara Mangsamoro to fight for the rights of the Moro people in general. As a woman, on the other hand, her leadership will hopefully push all the members of Suara to be conscious of women's rights. She is also active in joining the peace talks in order to campaign for peace and a resumption of peace between MILF and MNLF. So thank you, Amirah, for joining us tonight, and the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum. Rahmatullahi barakatuh to all our listeners, no? And to my fellow panelists, Ate Jehanne and Kaka Potre. I'm not an artist, but I truly appreciate what Kinding Sindaw has given to the people of America, and for presenting to them our culture here in Mindanao, and explaining to them, or giving us an opportunity to explain to them what are the struggles, no? Not only the culture and tradition of our people, our religion, our faith, but also the struggle of the Filipino Muslims or the Bangsamoro people here in Mindanao, no? And I am not an artist again, but Kaka Jehanne is an artist, so maybe she can explain more about what prompted her, no, to present our views and beliefs, no, and translating it into art, no. But what I do is to translate, no, our struggles, our beliefs, and traditions, no, alongside with the other national minorities who are fighting for right to self-determination, fighting for recognition, fighting for respect, no, for human rights, no. And here in Mindanao, our group, Sandugo, or the alliance of Moro and indigenous people, now have helped, no, in presenting the human rights situation of the national minorities, or the Moro and indigenous people here in Mindanao and the rest of the Philippines, no. um, uh, my influences, why I became a part, no, of a movement, no, that fights for the rights of national minorities and fights for the rights of the marginalized people in the whole of Philippines. No, uh, the big influence that I have is, of course, my family and my clan. No, we our the Lidasan clan live in, before it was a greater Parang Maguindanao municipality. It comprised. It was divided in the 80s or 90s into small municipalities of Matanog, Barira, and Buldon, but before it was a big municipality, and my grandfather was um, the first mayor, no, of that municipality. My grandfather believes in respecting the land um, in making sure that the Moro people will fight, no, for their rights to the land. Why do I say this? Is because Parang, as well as the rest of the Maguindanao province and the greater Cotabato province, no, during American occupation, were owned by American plantations, and they are the owners of more than 1,000 hectares, no, titled lands for corporations, no, for plantations of fruit plantations like Dole, Del Monte, and other or tobacco, no. So my grandfather has to fight for the ownership of the Bangsamoro to that land, no, and because our history was not titled, so they had to fight through legal means by titling, no, the lands to their names, no. And that's one of his campaigns, no, during his mayoralty position in the province. But also he wants the Iranon tribe to be known, no, to the rest of the Filipino people, and it helped that some writers like and scholars, no, have written about the Iranon, not always in the negative way, no, because in the history books we are always described as the pirates, no, or the pirates of the Sultan, the warriors of the Sultan. Oh, that's better, no. But it's that kind of legacy that my grandfather wanted to for the people to know, no. But despite of him being a known Moro leader and a known local government official, no, it didn't help that during the martial law years, no, uh, his influence and his leadership, no, along with the rest of the Bangsamoro leaders at that time, no, we were all they were all, no, regarded as the enemies of the Marcos presidency. And during martial law, I've learned and heard stories about how my family, you know, were, and even my grandfather were suppressed and oppressed, no, just like the rest of the Bangsamoro, who did not support, no, Marcos dictatorship at that time during martial law, no. And what happened was most of my uncles and even my parents, no, became part, no, of that movement to against oppression of Moro people and for the struggle for the liberation of the Bangsamoro people. And that was the context that I grew up, no, I was born into in 1974 and was brought up, no, during Marcos years in Mindanao during the dictatorship in Mindanao, and it was also a good upbringing for me because I grew up hearing stories about the Mujahideen, the Mujahidat, about the struggles of the Bangsamoro people, no, and why we should fight, no. So it's the stories of my grandparents, it's the stories of my parents, and it's also the stories of my uncle and the rest of our clan, no, and our areas or our communities in Matanog, Barira, Buldon, and even Parang, no, were home, no, to that struggle. No, we were known as the area of the Camp Abu Bakar of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, and that's where, no, I met most of the Mujahideen and Mujahidat who told me stories, no, on why they were forced to fight and defend the Moro people. And it's that kind of the stories, no, and I may say the tradition also that I brought with me when I studied in the University of the Philippines in Diliman, and I saw and met other uh, people like me who also brought their stories and brought the struggles of their people. My batchmates are known activists also in our or my contemporaries like Sister Samira Gutok, no, and Sister Maisara Damdamun, no, and these are moral women that also I regard, no, as not only my contemporaries but also people who have forwarded, no, the rights of the Bangsamoro people. And it helped also that the University of the Philippines has opened, no, also our me and my contemporaries world, no, to a bigger movement, no, movement of the whole Filipino people, marginalized, no, and also oppressed in their communities, no, and that helped in broadening, no, our views about what the Bangsamoro people struggle should be, no. So it helped also that there are some Catholics and Christian Protestants, no, who are very much, especially those living in Mindanao, who are very much concerned about the state of the Moro people, the human rights situation of the Moro people, and help us, no, in forwarding that message that Moro people and the Christian people in Mindanao, we are not fighting, no. What even though there are Christian vigilantes, no, that the armed forces of the Philippines and the Marcos dictatorship have used, no, against the Moro people to kill Moro people, no, it doesn't mean that they're bringing with them the faith of Catholicism or the faith of Protestantism, no, to kill their fellow Moro people, no. So they taught us and they embraced, no, our struggles, our stories, no, and made that as their struggle as well, no. And that's the reason why at the height of the controversy about the release of a known butcher and Christian vigilante named Norberto Marrero, when he was released in the late 90s, no, our group and along with Christian and Protestant institutions, no, protested against his release. And in one of our meetings and press conferences, we decided to form the group Moro Christian People's Alliance. And from that on, we were pushed to um, uh, uh, continue that alliance, because the year after the release of Manero, we saw what happened to Camp Abubakar and the other camps of Moro Islamic Liberation Front, the attack or the all-out war that former President Estrada did, to the MILF. But when we did our researches, and we did our fact-finding missions, it was not just aimed at against the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. When we say camp, it's not really a military camp of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. It's a community. It's a community that was uh, um, uh, initiated by the Moro Islamic Liberation Front to accommodate all of those who were forced to evacuate their communities because of the military operations that made use of aerial bombardment, and um, mortar shelling, in the different communities in the autonomous region of Muslim Mindanao, and even Moro areas like in North Cotabato or in the Davao region or in Sarangani and other provinces. So it accommodated all these people who were forced to evacuate, and made that Camp Abubakar into their communities. So it's composed of it has a school, it has a not only a madrasa but also a Department of Education school in the inside that community. So when President Estrada decided to bombard that community, just imagine how many Moro people were forced to evacuate that community, including me and my grandmother, because our community is part of that camp, and uh, that was the time that I was resolved to really expose what was happening in our community, because at that time the propaganda used by President Duterte was to say, thank God we have brought God back to uh, the Moro areas, and it's disgusting also to learn that when they said they were victorious in claiming Camp Abubakar, they had to feast, and had to raise the Filipino flag. It's a sign that they really disrespect the diversity of the Filipino people, and the different culture and tradition and religion that we have. So that made me be resolved that uh, I want to be part of that movement that will expose the oppression of the Bangsamoro people, and will also help explain the struggle, because at that time it was really difficult to explain why the Moro people had to wanted to be independent, wanted to be to have that respect for right to self-determination. So it was reduced to words like you want to separate, you're separatist, no, and you don't want to be part of the Filipino people. So it's like it's disheartening to note, like we want to explain why policies like the war policy of President Estrada against the Moro people is the one that the government is holding on to, and not the peace policy. So we also, the movement that I belong to is also pushing for at that time to respect the peace negotiation instead of the war policy of President Duterte. So, Alhamdulillah, I think our movement, snowballed into bigger movements of calling for the ouster of Estrada, and he was ousted at that time, in 2001, and we were part of that. The Moro people were part of that, and ever since then, it has a bigger and more Moro people who joined that campaign to resume peace negotiations with the Philippine government, and the succeeding um, administrations, despite of the on and off peace negotiation and the overarching anti-terror campaign embraced by the succeeding administrations, from Gloria Macapagal Arroyo to Aquino, and even now, to Duterte. We continue to struggle with that, expose the anti-terror policy, which is the same with the total war policy of former President Estrada, and expose also the impacts of that anti-terror policy to our communities, and this we saw this kind of destruction to the communities, that under President Duterte have destroyed, like Marawi City, like other areas like in Sulu and here in Maguindanao. So that's the story of our struggle, the movement, the interfaith movement, and the Bangsamoro movement that forward and pushes, for the recognition of the rights and the rights of the Bangsamoro people and our right to self-determination. And inshallah, more and more our Bangsamoro brothers, especially sisters, will continue that work, that campaign to help our Bangsamoro people and other marginalized people of our country. Alhamdulillah, we will push forward for that. So thank you, Sukran, for this opportunity, and wassalamualaikum to you.
All right, thank you so much. So I do would like to encourage everyone, if they have any questions or comments, leave in the chat. And I would like to have the next speaker up. Jerome, if you would like to introduce Jehanne.
Yes. All right, so our next speaker, folks, is Siti Jehanne Mutin, and she paints under the name Choi. She is a gender and peace advocate as well as a cultural worker. She is a graduate of International Relations and Juris Doctor, and is currently working on her PhD in Sustainable Development, major in economics. As a Maranao traditional leader, she holds the royal title of Bai sa Marantaon and is keen on preserving and promoting the Bangsamoro cultural heritage through different platforms where she shares her talent as a playwright, writer, singer, and painter. She has joined art group exhibits in Malaysia and the Philippines, and she's also a professional chef and amateur interior designer. Jehanne is the founding chairperson of the Young Moro Professionals Network, or YMBN, and that's the largest organization of Filipino Muslim professionals in the country, and the founding chair of the Odiata Cultural Ensemble. She also serves as director of the board of several art groups. Now, she's currently working as an independent consultant, specializing in topics including but not limited to comparative law, legislation, women and family relations, and strategic studies. So without further ado, folks, I present to you Jehanne Mutin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jerome. Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's a good morning here. But before I start, I'd like to thank King Sindaw and all the members of the organizing team, and also Amirah for joining us here in the discussion this morning. When I got the invite to join you today, I was surprised because it was really the first time that I was invited to speak on the same breath. As an artist, and how I was listening to Amirah earlier, is the story that I have friends who are also in the slightly different in a way environment. Although I grew up in the heart, my upbringing was very cloistered. Uh, my parents were very protective of us, and so I grew up in an educated, positive, and had a quite comfortable life. And my parents were respected community leaders. We were not a political family. Although some members of my family would join in politics every now and then, are the vanguards of the faith, of the Islamic faith, because one of the founders of the oldest madrasa in the country and the oldest Islamic society in the country. It is our clan members who operate and run the oldest traditional school. In fact, they have the madrasa school. The madrasa has not accepted any secular education, which is a trend. My father's side was very spiritual, very, very conscious. My mother's family, there were a lot of, in that family, we had members of the family who were the first Muslim doctor, the first Maranao dentist, the first Ford scholar, the first. And I grew up thinking that way. And so we were very competitive, and we were very scholarly in a sense. But when I was growing up, like I said,
I'm sorry, Jehanne.
Yeah.
I apologize for interrupting. Your audio connection seems to be a little in and out. Maybe try turning your video off, and then we might be able to hear you better. I apologize.
There. Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Is this better?
Yes, that's better.
Yeah, the connection actually is not very good in Cagayan de Oro City. Well, anyways, so the turning point, I think, like I said, we grew up in that kind of environment. But the turning point, I think, for me, when I started to acknowledge that life is not a bubble, where I was in grade school, and I was so surprised that I saw some of my friends, my classmates, doing the dishes. And this was really something new for me, because at home we had some other people doing that kind of job for us. Then when I went to UP, to the University of the Philippines, I befriended some people who later on became my friends, and I came to understand and see that there were other people really who were socially and economically challenged. And like I said, I had a very cloistered life, and we were not really exposed until I got into college. Then I joined the League of Filipino Students, which was a more progressive organization. And then I became more aware of the many societal gaps in our society. And this was the time I started to get out of my comfort zone. But in 2000, declared an all-out war Bangsamoro people, some of my contemporaries, and their frustration at that time. I already a very young. I just graduated out of college, and I was in the big city, and I thought that maybe there was something that I can do short of carrying arms and really going to the streets. And so with a few friends, we started the Young Motor Professionals Network, which is now one of the biggest professional networks in the country. And the purpose really was to get the more apolitical members of the Moro society, not just the Maranao society from which I belong to, but really cutting across all the Moro societies in existence. And so we got some friends to join us and apolitical to the cause, to the right to self-determination cause, as we were starting to get aware of at that time. And that was the start of my own community. In a way, really going to the other side of the track, so to speak. And I could not believe I felt so miserable at that time because I was not even aware that there were really dire communities within my own community. And that poverty, that drug trade, bribery, corruption actually exist. So my influence really in trying to do some good in a way was my late father. He was the sultan of a community that is long respected for preserving and promoting the Maranao culture, and this is Dayawan. He was very kind, and his kindness knew no bounds, and he was very known for this. And he went out on a limb to help other people whenever he can and whichever way possible. And he constantly reminded us that with privilege comes responsibility. And I think this was really what prompted me, not just actually me, but his children, to really go out and help whenever we can. And he often told us that, our only vehicle, media, or by which we can serve a higher purpose. And so I never really consciously became an activist, never consciously became an activist. I think I only acted or reacted to events that were happening around me, and using whatever I had. If I had the network, if I had the connection, And so I use this to the advantage of the cause. As an artist, um, I I also never really consciously became an artist in a way, but I have always been very, very interested in many, many things, and I've always had this personal conviction that if there is really something that you want and you have the passion and the burning gusto to make it work, you just have to make time and try it out in your lifetime. And so that's probably how sometimes I don't even know what to call my self, but as Kakapotre has said, I can always call myself a multidisciplinary artist, for lack of a better word, um, because my interests are uh, in different art genres. I I am a playwright, meaning I write for script. I write scripts for the stage. I've had one or two award-winning scripts that were uh, mounted nationally. Um, and I performance. I'm a performance. I used to sing and dance. When I became more, I took more responsibility in the Islamic society. I had to tone it down. Um, I am also a painter. I've always had interest in painting, I think, but I only started painting and showing it to the public a few years back. And as you can see on your screens, the one on the right, those are oil and acrylic paints. Um, very first on the left hand corner down below, that's the very first ever painting that I did. That was 20 years ago. On all the other three were some of the paintings I did during the lockdown last year in 2020. Um, and the one on our right side, um, this is us, which is that Maranao's use to show this, because activism really is a play, because I worked with some artists from the north, from Manila, and we wanted their work, how the Marawi siege has affected them, and the designs usually, traditionally, or the traditional designs that are used in Antiquitas are designs that were handed down by generation to generation, and we asked our artisans to make new designs according to how they reacted to the Marawi siege. And so this design, the green one on the upper right hand corner, our new that was processing that we did, and asked them to come up with new designs. And so with the, so these are designs. You don't see this often. In fact, we group that created with them. And so I also work as an artist, really spills out of what I do. I am a chef. I also cook. So I like the way food to the world standard, and I do interior design. I write also, and I collect moral textiles and moral arts and crafts. The Marawi Sage has greatly affected me as a Maranao, as a Muslim woman. In fact, I'd say it made me question authority. It made me question status quo. It made me question my own people and the way we have been behaving or reacting for the past decades. And it got me so frustrated and angry, and sometimes almost feeling hopeless. It was a direct affront, I think, to us. But this is a continuing struggle. It's really saying that the war is brought on your doorstep, and trying to keep your cool all the time. We are at that stage, I think. As an artist, what Marawi Siege of 2017 has done for me was I realized that not just the houses, not properties and the lives, want to preserve the Maranao, the Moro culture, and I could do this personally through art or through any other creative media. As an activist, it made me realize which battle really to fight. You know, I could not take on everything, and I had to choose my battle to ensure more success. And I realized that I should find my niche as an activist where I can be more powerful, where I can be more influential, and I found out useful in a sense if I try to influence policies, attend more talks, bring issue, just the higher authorities listening to the lower people or the people on the ground, but really also for the people on the ground to listen to the authorities, and try to help both sides to validate the truth or veracity of information, and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, I think um, peace is a continuing struggle, and peace is everybody's business. And for us to really have a normal, peaceful society, I am up for any questions.
All right, thank you so much, Jehanne. So I know that we were having some technical issues hearing a little bit. So if anyone has any questions or comments that they want to ask or just leave in the chat, maybe it might be a little bit easier for Jehanne to comment back in the chat. We do have one question. This is for Amirah. How would you respond to?
I just comment,
No
Jehanne,
problem.
we really value what you had said. It would be beautiful if you're able to transcribe it and we can share it. And also, Amirah, it's very powerful. Both of your voices are very powerful. And it's just a pity that we cannot have much time tonight. We'll answer the questions. And then, however, we would like to have to keep a copy of what you have said tonight. Thank you.
Thanks. So for Mira, this is also in the chat too. It's kind of a lengthy or different parts of questions, but I guess the first one to answer is, how would you respond to Filipinos and Americans who justify the oppression of the Southern Philippines by demonizing the Mujahideen as terrorists, as well as stereotyping the Moro people in general as sympathetic to terrorism and militia and Islam? If you would like to respond to that, Amirah.
Yes, no. That has been one of our goals, no, in our organization, in our movement, no, to explain to all the people, especially our fellow Filipino peoples, no, what is the real situation in Mindanao and the real situation of the Moro people, so that they can empathize. They need to understand, and they have to empathize. First and foremost is why is there a need for to struggle, and specifically to struggle for the right to self-determination. So we need to do a lengthy explanation, no, about our that right as expressed also as one of our rights in respected by the or recognized by the United Nations, no?
And other international agencies and human rights agencies and organizations. No, so we also have to really provide evidence of human rights violations, and why was there a need to defend our communities? No, why were our brothers and sisters, no, in our communities were forced, no, to arm themselves, no, to defend their communities, no. The policies of the government, no, that were impoverishing most of our communities, no, the landlessness caused by development aggression and the grabbing of lands in our communities, no. First they bomb our communities, were forced to flee our communities, and then they plant plantations in those communities, no. They sell it to multinational corporations, and in the end it's us, no, who become impoverished and who become landless, no. So we have to patiently explain this, no, to and we are very appreciative of organizations like you, um, institutions also who provide us opportunity to present this explanations, no, this evidence, no, and it also help, no, that the peace negotiation also puts, no, into a different light the situation, because it's being talked in the it's being discussed, no, the rights of the Moro people, the rights of the marginalized people are being discussed uh, with another country or a third party also facilitating the talks. It gives a broader audience, no, and it puts into highlight also into place why there was a need to struggle, and why the government needs to recognize this, no. So that's the reason why we push, no, for that peace negotiation, and we also um, uh, um, seek, no, a legal representation for the MILF, the MNLF, even the National Democratic Front, who also discuss, no, in their programs, no, and in their peace negotiation, the situation of the Moro people. Why we want that, no, to be out in the open through these venues, no. At one point, no, that name Bangsamoro, no, it's synonymous also to terrorism. That's why it was very difficult for us when we decided in 2004 to have the name Suara Bangsamoro and bring it to Congress by participating in the party list organization. So when we decided that, everyone was saying, "Are you not afraid, no, to use the term Bangsamoro because it's synonymous also to the Mujahideen, to the struggle, and for the government as terrorism." And what we said is that we need to campaign for this. We need to make this part of the discussion of the people. And if it means by um, using this as a name, no, it's the name and it's also the struggle, no, Bangsamoro. So we need to fight for this. We need to continue using the name, no. So in that way, it has become, no, a sort of a household name already. And now that Barm was maybe Jehanne can discuss more about that, no. Barm is already using the name Bangsamoro, no, and uh, uh, it's also part of the psyche already of Mindanao, no, and the whole Philippines, and it's recognized already. So that's the, I think, the way that we should confront, no, this. We should not give in to the propaganda of the government. We should find ways, no, for the people to accept, to embrace our culture, our tradition, to respect it, no, by constantly standing up for it and constantly using it, no, for as part of our identity. And Alhamdulillah, it has now been um, embraced, no, by the people, no, and by our fellow Filipino people.
Right,
Thank
thanks.
you. Maybe Jihan can add to that.
Yeah, if Jehanne, if you would like to have your own comments about that question as well.
Oh, it was so long. I think for me, being Bangsamoro and really understanding uh, how we are as people embracing our culture, our identity, diversity, our differences, and really being proud of it. It's when we start doing that, it and within inter the morals, the different communities of Moro, the Baranaos, and the Tausugs, the Iranons, and the Maguindanos. If we start embracing our little difference
I think
and our uniqueness and our um and our commonalities, and really being proud of us as one Bangsamoro. It gives us strength as people, and it gives us the impetus to really um, continue. This is not the end. I'd like to think that this is a new beginning for all of us. And the struggle continues, but maybe not on the same front. So I works like you to help us bring the message across that here we are, the Bangsamoro people, proud people working for what we have, and trying to leave a legacy to our future generations. Can you hear me?
Yes, we were able to hear you. So thank you for that question. I think, being able to voice or have these individuals voice their own backgrounds and their narratives to be able to do exactly what they just mentioned, to deconstruct the stereotypes and the preconceived notions that has been made by other people for them, definitely does help aid to, moving forward in a better light. I do want to bring up just a few announcements before we go. And then afterwards, if you are all interested in saying, we will be streaming Pananandam, which was our production that we had back in March of last year. But just a few quick announcements. There are some links listed in regards to typhoon relief, also the Love for Marari campaign, just to go about with the happenings of the Marari siege that was mentioned tonight, and also a Twitter for keeping posted on what's happening with the Lumad schools. There's also a QR code for the weekend dance classes. Right now there is a series happening, so definitely don't miss it. And it happens every Saturday at 12 p.m. and Sunday 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, or 2 weeks from now, we'll also have another Rinayung episode about women artists and activists. You can sign up at the bit.ly/Rinayung to sign up for the Zoom information for that. Next slide, please. And then here are a few other info. You can also visit our link tree just to get all the links and everything as well, which Patty helped us share that in the Zoom chat. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Apologize for the technical difficulties, but we all made it through. Thank you for sharing, Amirah and Jehanne. We would definitely like to have this conversation keep going. So if you would like to have any questions or any other comments and would like to engage with them in the future, feel free to let us know. We would like to have them back or just pass on the message to them afterwards. I think, Potri, do you want to do closing and then do the stream by chance?
So, Assalamualaikum everyone. Thank you very much. Magandang gabi at magandang umaga sa Pilipinas. This is such a very beautiful night, and it's so powerful, and it's so inspiring and enlightening for the world to listen to these two young Muslim women, Moro women, who has been, the struggle that has been there for 400 years, defending Mindanao from colonization and now neo-colonization. It is sad, but it's very empowering that we can continue standing on our ground and really asserting our, our independence, asserting our sovereignty, asserting our bangsa. And thank you very much. And hopefully all those speeches can be come up in writing, and hopefully we can put that in a book that people and the current generation and the future generation will be able to read and get inspiration from it. And maraming salamat. And now we have to do our salutation for Kinding Sindaw. In honor of our ancestors who created and transmitted this tradition to us. With open hearts, we'd like to take them in mind, body, and soul. And with humility, we bow as we use it to empower us as we walk our path. Shukran, thank you, maraming salamat. For those people in Facebook, you can continue watching the 2020 March 12 last off-Broadway show, Panana Dem, that was presented by La Mama. Thank you, and see you more. We have classes tomorrow at 6 p.m. There'll be Maranao dances, and every other week, March 27 is the next Rinayung. Stand by, watch, and tune in. Take care. Assalamualaikum. I'm gonna go Panana Dem.
Yes. 1 second. I'm just finding the link. I'm streaming this on YouTube, so hopefully the connection isn't super bad. But if it gets to that, just let me know and I can do something.
Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, everyone out there. My name is Putri Rangka Manis. I'm the Artistic Director of Kinding Sindaw Heritage Foundation. Welcome to La Mama. For this season, we produced Pananaden, which means remembering in Maranao. Remembering stories that are not known to the world at all. One of them is Darangin. Darangin is the Maranao epic that was kept since 4th to 10th century. Up to now, it still remained in oral tradition. It's declared by UNESCO as intangible human heritage. Tonight, what you're gonna witness is the chapter 8 of Darangin, Taraktakan sa Uray. Which means the village or the kingdom full of gold, where gold showers, taraktakan. It falls from the heaven. Uray means gold. This is intertwined to the stories of the Marawi seeds. Marawi is the last kingdom of the Philippines, and it was seeds in May 23, 2017 to ground zero. Up to now, there are people living in the tents. The Maranao people are noble people. We cannot be beggars. Only thing is, we are disempowered if we're not given support. So tonight, we're showing you a very beautiful epic intertwined with the current condition that may endanger that beautiful epic that will become just a missing link of mankind, particularly the missing link of Philippine history, if we are not going to join together our hands in solidarity of reclaiming that culture and tradition. And the Darangin is very precious. So join us, enjoy, and thank you very much, La Mama, Experimental Theater, and How Round that give us the opportunity to be broadcasted to the whole world through live stream. Thank you, How Round. Thank you very much, and welcome to La Mama. Visit us also at www.kindingsindaw.org. And thank you, National Commission for Culture and Arts in the Philippines, to allow us to bring tradition bearers, master artists from the Maranao people and the Maguindanao people. So tonight's production of Taraktakan sa Uray is a very powerful production because the stories will be chanted to you by the chanter or the bayo, the honor. We call it honor. The chanter, we call it honor in Maranao. They'll be delivered to you in ancient tradition of the Maranao people called bayo, and also the poetry called pagkapaparoonan. Enjoy the show, and remember, visit us at www.kindingsindaw.org. Please give us your support in any situation, in any condition. Thank you very much. Thank you, How Round, and thank you, La Mama. kami kira kagkaran tangiba
dakal. Au nagkagiyak ka mautuna, pamanut kagiyak ka panutulan ni iringasa mitunong. Nasan kumasud na tigaso, mapaparumbayran sa taratak kanauray, na ayaden sudarimbang sa alungan na imantuna. Daging ang kupaganay iyo kita betadiren saratak kanabulawan asalius tadamagan sa dua gawya
Aday na senapakarano na di pakan dayagao inaning sa sabala gusto kadong sari pagna sa labos no binaning kay giras sumialag na di mapandi di matagag kamaragam paloba
Kagiyamanaya mamasay mantusa kalilimu daya aranao mga detus saranao na kiyamasa aniwa kalilimu di mantua ingede tarantak kauraya gusto mga beya gusto maguno tekiran na katayadun sudet tua pekaing umaang kanuniana detua pengudiata sampurna ki detua paisa
sumala may simba kukuk kadana dapayag nasumi lungamam pita kuku simba nadang gugunaw kalukulum boy silung subas sa ulang katimur na dari saya mimbem barakopat tamim bala-bala kudan dano pagilidan lupa nabiwang kawanana taman dan sa palim banga sultang kudarat
Nadalinan ay dang linan no dalinan no dalinan dalinan no den nakanatiyag layagong amumunga na basalan buro-buron suwagong kaadang ko na malimon so tawagu sulangon no dato langon no bai si isa turugan na kalina na aniran kama sa iso peladela dalina torot tarata ka na uray أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله
tabui mantu na milumbay dun subaya bulan tay maginalanga ini sungguh dah lupa ini kilat to langit ko rani ay ko bakulot sa taratak panaurang
Tabia budaya ponis dekano anana mga bay mimba tala ko diwatan mo. Sabuti ka magunong ka aso sibo kulo dalam naayan himbobo olong naso wala kinandato. Aso pindali dainomokom. Aso pindali dainomokom. Aso pindali dainomokom. Aso pindali dainomokom.
sampirya rapitana deganapan sanuriso demalimas sadiwan sumbagso makurang debaya tambing rai bulawana inu mga dailadang Abay salamina dinaguyanan sirega bulawan sas andigan adinaw mga bay na bulos kano salimanda alalag
tunada makan daray nun so sa gagalan na inandigan kilaman ako mo kong pasaranon kumalungalim buwan na na marumag sa kawanan na sudarim bangian amanayos sa pumpungan apabagapiranian so mga masauray na aya aton dugian si masalupi na dara malawan da ilalag amagalaw sa laminan kapagkuan sa dawagasutan daalang kaiyan nakagiya mauto na pialadaken rekano mga datos saingada si barungis sa laminan na matarinti sa bae at ito sulang kaiyan sa kadatang kiriyan. sumakuran da abae apagalin sa darian sutam binguray masalag ay nam bayanauray sa iliana bumbaran na ayarum baubay na daman at tawamalin sa kambabetadanian adi agu atutunong mag-arayan na nakiapalong bayaon sa siinian tiyong ko padidaya alitingan bangko nawa madandeng na ayarong baulamin na apian tadatu nada dan madaya gadar nada penakapamalane kalalayunun madarinding o mimbuk ludagabo nadi kalawang gometer.
Oh, ini mau mengaragama.
kapagingid sa dalinayang kaparan, na banguning kasapan diagan damatu demdeg. Ka apayo di butanto na payung angkos kaun sabi na ning di kumlas sa gadung di kumuyakas.
Napa namang kuliamin na di ko tanto kaya? Uri na rin ako suwig gusurot sulegan na pagadilan so kapal kaindung kusarkiyo. Sa.
Naubos susakaw na natigin na pinarapis niya na palaw buklod mo aw katigin na di pampang. Kagirya pampang akadalidigan taong ka tibang ka di sabuta so alungan na landap na apay susinarya na ding kakasunsong milew ding karending palad.
Na di kakawan margang kukiniran takwig. Kaya na ko pa na mayara uburudan so palaw ka. Kaya matudamin doon so diyan di pisinaan. Na ino ko pa na mayara uburudan so buklod. Kabagay to mimbalingan so asala piyagayunan.
Na anak kapal sarana pemberi gagamampir kurani ay kumarandang. Kaayatang kapianon narangir salangalang subagilusam bakati. Ikararano nak na mataraganda ngayak ka, bebupan inimbangang kairarap para pikir kasukyat temaniron.
ade mga dito sa taratakan auray na mga maragan sa Inaw mga dato sa taratakan ay napaginang kakanuka ada nak ketalima biasa dengar
Unay nakuat alalayo ng kamikir sukag karantang iba danana baluyam yung kirsa ado kadna nadapayag
Apir kay kulatak sekasama di rumagsa diwang matampar sa kawanan pagilay kaapir ka ubang kaapir isu anam marandung ngiyang ka dia ko pemarandung sa anamaran dungi yang ka bedengke ko abesa ingaran taso senang data kurang kanian panguran de kaapir sadikaong kadua yang ka udah supantun rakena dikukerau sutanda iba kulapos saokir na panguran de kapir kasakeni kede wayana petending ku bayana nei no manga delade no ribuna ko saya dengang kala ang uniyo tahanan na mimamasay mantuwa kalilemot deranaw na pamimikirang kano kaayaniyo pe kira na pamumulan saranaw sumuna ka tu nganaya nasa paden sa iranu su ande ngakapo lulut na benar kaserai suik na isabu sa unde sana isai tawaran
nataku sa iyana Piyapan 5,000 na ginawa ko alumbang
Say thank you very much. Maraming salamat po sa Culture Hub. Isang ay daw sa Culture Hub. Ay daw! Isang ay daw sa Howl Round. Ay daw! At tatlong ay daw sa La Mama. Ay daw! Thank you very much for watching us today. Keep us in your heart. Tonight's performance is not just an entertainment, but we would like you to remember Pananadim. What we have shown tonight is a reminder that there is a living tradition that has to be continually lived and chanted tonight. So it is Taraktakan na sa Uray is just one chapter of Darangin. Darangin is declared by UNESCO in 2005 as intangible human heritage. You would like to say thank you so much, La Mama, Culture Hub, How Around, to give the world our story. And we would like you to follow us at www.kindingsindaw.org. We'd like also to thank to our tradition bearers. We have Muhammad Ali Haji Usman. We have Faisal Munal. We have Dr. Bai Bing Bakar. And I have my niece here, Leonora de Rampatin Grandi. And we have Jalaluddin Kasnor. And we have Alafghani Usman. I just want to emphasize that Faisal Munal and Dr. Bai Bing Bakar is from the Sultanate of Sultan Kudarat. The Maranao people also is part of the Sultan Kudarat descendant. But we are also from Pat Pangampung Kuranao. That is Muhammad Ali Derampatin Grandi, Jalaluddin Kasnor, and Alafghani Usman. We belong to the Pat Pangampung Kuranao, and most of us actually is from 15 Pagawidan of the Sultanate of Borokot, Maging. So we'd like to give 10 Aidaws to the Sultan Kudarat descendant. And one more, very important. The coming of the tradition bearers are with the help of the Philippine National Commission for Culture and Arts and NCCA. Would like to shout out, say Aidaw to Deputy Director Maricho Teliano. Aidaw! And of course, to Rio Almario. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat po. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Waalaikumsalam. Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.